I get a feeling it's going to be a riot.
I don't read the newspapers because they all have ugly friends.
At the starting of the week, at Sunday talks, you'll hear them speak. It's only Monday. Negotiations breaking down. See the leaders start to frown. It's more than Monday.
We are back with another edition of your favorite morning show, The Daily Dose on the Gorilla Radio Network.
You'll be sitting, taking lunch. The news will hit you like a punch. It's only Tuesday.
But Saturday,
Ask your doctor if The Daily Dose is right for you. Common side effects include sarcasm, informed opinions, and wondering how the hell these people got elected. The Daily Dose starts now.
but Saturday.
Good morning. Good morning. The time is 7:52 a.m. in the morning. That's what the kids say, 7:52 a.m. in the morning. And it is July 30th, 2026. This is your Thursday edition of the Daily Dose, the most anticipated morning show on the internet machine. Back to work for me today. I had the last couple days off. It was nice, relaxing. And now it's time to get back to the old grind. Here we go. One more time. But it's not too bad, though, because I'm off Sunday and Monday. So I've got 3 days of work, and then I'm off 2 more days. So it's not a terrible work week, I suppose. I'll only pack in 40 hours in these next 3 days. Oh, man. What a life. I got a great show for you today, I think. We did our weekly show last night, live with Mike and Eric featuring Angel, which we do once a week. Hopefully you were able to check it out. It was a pretty good show from what I thought. It kind of got a little unhinged, as it usually does towards the end of the show, and we went off the rails like we normally do. But you know what? At the end of the day, it was a decent show start to finish, and I think we all performed well, which is nice because performance is critical. Oh, man. So we're going to do a little local weather today. We're going to talk about school drones. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the ex-NFL quarterback and CBS affiliate, Tony Romo. Jared Leto made the news, a.k.a. Skeletor from Masters of the Universe. Got it. House exploding. And, of course, the biggest story in the news as of today, which happened yesterday, would be Anthony Fauci, the former director. He's under fire. We talked about it a little bit yesterday on the show, but now I've got a little bit more detail because the hearing ended yesterday, or the initial part of it, and we've got some footage and we've got a little bit of stuff to talk about moving forward with old Tony. That's what I call him, Tony. He calls me E, and I call him Tony. It's nice. We're on a first name basis. We give each other vaccines every now and again, just for the hell of it. It's fun. He's a little bit better at it than I am because he does have a medical degree, and I'm still pursuing mine. But yeah, soft hands, real soft hands. Let's get into weather. This weather report is for the Palm Harbor and Tampa Bay area. If you do not live in this area, fuck off.
Yesterday's rainfall totals, not great considering our atmosphere was just full of moisture. I do notice here Polk, Hardy County, Highlands County, you got some decent rain yesterday. Really, really good for you folks. Not much in Pasco County, even Citrus and Hernando. And the jackpot was out here over the Gulf. Look at that, 6, 7, 8 inches of rain. Between now and Sunday, somebody in this area is going to get that kind of rain, cumulative. The impossible part is to say who. The way it's setting up, though, from Tampa north, the heftiest rain amounts likely over the next few days. And you can start to see this. There's a frontal boundary moving into the state, and it's starting to produce showers and storms, which are then beginning to drift south and east. Meanwhile, let's get down toward the Skyway, because I've got a nice little thunderstorm that was going on this morning, kind of popped up here between Anna Maria Island and Egmont Key. It's just been expanding. I got some heavy rain in Bradenton, big tropical downpour for you folks. It's not a big deal, but you might be hearing that on the roof right now. Same for Palmetto. Heads up Parish, I've got some very heavy rain coming at you. Big tropical downpour lasting for several minutes, and there's been a little bit of lightning with this as well. Just the beginning. We're going to see a lot more of this throughout the entire Central Florida area today, tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday, as our rain chances are close to 70%. But it's a much needed 70% rain chance, though. Keep in mind, an extreme drought still in parts of our viewing area, so we still got to slowly take care of that. Mid-80s along the coast. It is a massive steam bath. And we've also got that heat advisory across I-10. So Citrus County, good news, you're not in the heat advisory, though. So as this front settles southward, it's going to generate more scattered downpours, and our rain chance as a result sitting at about 70% for today. Not a washout, though. Just keep your rain gear handy and keep your eye on your Sky Tower apps, because we are going to have more showers for the next several days. What we need by early next week, though, maybe some drier air comes in, knocks them back down to 40%.
It looks like we get a lot of rain coming up in the next few days. Thank you, Dave Osterberg from the Fox 13 Sky Tower Weather Center, based out of Tampa, Florida, right there off of Gandy Boulevard. I don't know. Not that it matters, but thank you anyway, Dave Osterberg, for your insight and for giving us your knowledge of the clouds and the rain and the wind coming to our area. Looks like it's going to rain for the rest of the week, so get your rain gear, like he said, and make sure that that you stay as dry as you possibly can, because we've got some downpours coming. All right, so that's it. This is pretty great. We'll go ahead and get into the Fauci stuff, because that's the biggest thing on the news right now. Anthony Fauci, I believe he invoked his Fifth Amendment right 113 times yesterday during the proceedings. And it's just not a good look for him. You know what I mean? It's either 113 or 115 times. I don't remember the exact count, but it's 100 and something teen. And it's just not a good look for him. You know what I mean? Maybe he's innocent. Maybe he's guilty. I don't know. But when you refuse to answer any questions when you're up on the stand, and you invoke your Fifth Amendment right every single time, even if they ask you what color your tie is, and you invoke your Fifth Amendment right, it's just not a good look. It looks like you're trying to hide something and you're trying to cover something up and not be forthright with everyone that's waiting for the answer. So, like I said, maybe he's innocent, maybe he's guilty of the charges. Who knows? But nonetheless, it's just not a good look for Tony. That's what I call him, Tony. He calls me E. We give each other vaccines.
I will echo Senator Johnson's comments about your opening statement, Mr. Chairman. I think it was dead on. Very, very well done. Mr. Fauci, do you know who David Schertler is?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. What does the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution say?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
No, I'm just asking you what it says.
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
I'm going to give the Constitution to my aide. He'll bring it over to you so you can have it for future reference. I think it's something that every American should know what the Constitution says. Do you know who wrote the Fifth Amendment?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution.
So you're invoking a right that you don't know who wrote it or what it says. Is that correct?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment to the Constitution.
Now, you would think that after, that was that 4 or 5 times that he was asked separate questions, none of which were anything related to what's going on right now. He's asking him constitutional law, who wrote the Constitution, do you know what the Fifth Amendment is, blah, 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 blah. You would think after he gives answers to those most basic of basic questions, and he answers the same way every time, that he's declining to answer, just end the proceeding at that point. You're not going to get any information out of him. You know what I mean? If he obviously, when you ask him the hard-hitting questions, he's going to say the exact same thing. So why waste everyone's time and make them all sit there for 2.5, 3 hours and just listen to him do the exact same thing and answer the question the exact same way, every time, because when he gets to the questions that matter, he's going to say the same. It's going to be the same result. He's going to say the same thing. So I don't know. I would have just said, okay, this court's in recess now, and hit the desk with the gavel and went about my day. But I don't know. You know what I mean? That's just one of those things, I guess, that I would do. But maybe they had to prove a point. But yeah. Breaking news overnight. This is terrible. A house exploded in Canton, Ohio. It literally exploded in the middle of the night.
The breaking news of a house explosion that rocked several homes in the Canton area.
Our David Greenberg just talked to the fire chief. David, it's a sad morning there.
Yeah, very sad morning here, Danita. There's still lots of first responders. We have lots of firefighters on scene. I'm going to step aside so you can get a look at what we're dealing with here this morning. There is debris that has been blown hundreds of yards all over this area here. We were seeing neighbors out this morning, them sharing stories with each other, talking about having felt that explosion earlier this morning. Now, the structure on the left, this white house, is not the house that exploded. It's the neighboring house. We did see lots of videos online of that house on fire, and that house did catch on fire. Now, I did speak to the division fire chief here in Canton just a couple minutes ago. He told me that the blast happened a little before 4 a.m. this morning. He said the blast could be felt as far as 2 miles away at their central station here in Canton. Now, we were told that one victim was thrown from the house. That victim was taken to Akron Children's Hospital with roughly 80% of burns on their body. And now, he did tell me they do believe there is still one victim here on the scene. No word yet on their condition at this time. He did say that there were 3 people exiting a neighboring house who were able to get out uninjured right as crews were arriving, but they're actually just now getting ready to push this scene back once again as they're going to there's an excavator right next to where we are, so I think they're getting ready to kind of dig through some of this and potentially look for that other victim here this morning. But it is certainly, there is a lot of first responders on scene and still a very active scene, guys.
All right, we'll be checking back.
That's wild. That house was obliterated, absolutely obliterated. Imagine sleeping 4 a.m. and we cover stories like this every now and again. I know we talked about the car driving into the house and the plane landing on top of the house, and waking you up at whatever time in the morning. But imagine just sleeping at 4 a.m. next door to a house that just explodes for no fucking reason whatsoever. That's insanity. Absolutely insanity. You just hear that blast and you wake up, don't know what's going on. You look out your window and there's just fire everywhere. That's got to be it's got to be terrifying in the middle of the night. You know what I mean? Because you don't expect anything like that to happen ever, let alone when you're in a dead sleep in the middle of the night. That's amazing that that happened. So yeah, we'll try to keep you updated on that and see what happens as that story progresses further. But I'm wondering if it was an explosion due to like a gas leak, or if it was something more heinous, you know what I mean? Because usually when you see an explosion like that, there's a buildup of gas. When I know from working in the restaurants, you leave a burner on, then the place just, with no pilot light, it just fills with the propane gas, and you smell it throughout the entire kitchen, and you're basically just kind of filling up like a balloon filled with gas at that point. And then the balloon eventually pops. And I'm wondering if that's what caused that house to go up in flames like that and explode. But nonetheless, that's pretty crazy stuff. Pretty crazy stuff. So yeah, we'll see what happens next couple of days with that, figure out what happened. And hopefully it was, it's terrible that it happened at all, but hopefully it wasn't anything malicious and it was accidents, but who knows? This is a crazy fucking world that we live in. So you never know what may be the case. Drones. This is really cool. Now, and we talked about this yesterday or the day before, you wake up every day and there's another mass shooting in the news, and, we're all numb to it, and we can't, we just go about our day, and, nothing is, matters anymore because we're just so numb to the mass shootings everywhere in the news. Well, now they're deploying these drones in schools, and they're doing a test market. I don't remember the area. It'll say somewhere in this clip, but these drones basically fly around the mass shooter, and they just cause a distraction, flashing lights. Some of them are armed with pepper spray. They ram the assailant and they knock him down. So this is a really cool defense mechanism against school shooters if if it gets adapted and becomes countrywide, this could really save a lot of lives. This is really, really cool, this footage. And it's also unfortunate that we have to think in this way, in this day and age, that we need to deploy drones in our schools to keep our kids safe from mass shooters. I don't know what's more disgusting, it's ridiculous. But watch this footage. It's really.
These drones can zoom across a school campus in just seconds. Their goal? Help stop an active shooter. At least 9 schools in Florida, Georgia, and Colorado are now being equipped with the drones, which are designed to distract a school shooter until police arrive by flashing strobe lights, sounding sirens, and spraying pepper gel. The aircraft, called Campus Guardian Angel, can ram into a threat at 50 miles per hour. Mithril Defense, the company behind the drones, says they'll be stored at the schools so teachers can activate them during an emergency. But some parents are raising concerns.
They are operated remotely from Texas. These are our tender babies, and they are now going to have to be in a place where there are drones flying around.
Critics also argue the drones could misidentify a threat, and they argue school resources should go towards preventing gun violence. The debate over technology in schools isn't just about security. In New York, one district is pausing its plan to bring an AI-powered robot into the classroom after pushback from parents and teachers. The $60,000 robot, nicknamed Sally, was created by Realbotics. It's designed to serve as a teaching assistant for high school students studying robotics and other technology fields. But concerns were raised about student privacy and whether a robot should have any role in teaching in the classroom. Realbotics says any personal student information would remain encrypted. As for that security drone program, so far, the drones have only been tested during drills, not in a real-life shooting.
I don't know, man. I think it's really cool that they're doing that. You know what I mean? I think it's cutting edge. It's a matter of prevention at this point. It's not going to prevent the shooter from going into the school and opening fire, but it's going to prevent them from causing potential harm, threat, damage, or death to any students or teachers that are in the immediate area. Why not? Like, what's that one old lady talking about? These are our precious babies here, and now they have to worry about drones flying around. Well, fuck yeah. Would you rather have a drone flying around, or would you rather have somebody with a machine gun shooting the school up, you dumb bitch? I mean, you're stupid. So let's move on from that. Yeah, of course, give me the drones. Misidentify the people. Who cares? At least they're not going to get murdered by a mass shooter with an assault rifle and handguns and hundreds of rounds of ammunition that can't be stopped. Yeah, deploy the drones. I don't know. I don't know why people would be opposing that, but I'm sure they have their reasons, unbeknownst to myself. But again, I'm just a humble talk show host that cooks for a living. So, maybe they're smarter than I am. They probably are. Most people are, usually. Jared Leto, Skeletor. Jared Leto's in the news. He's been a bad boy, apparently. Sexual assault charges. Jared Leto. Do you think he wore his Skeletor mask and suit when he was allegedly assaulting these victims? I don't know. Only time will tell.
To the explosive allegations against Oscar-winning actor Jared Leto, a new documentary from the BBC featuring interviews with a number of women, 2 who claim he sexually assaulted them when they were teenagers. Leto calling their claims absolutely and categorically false. Here's ABC's Kana Whitworth.
He's the rock star turned actor who won an Oscar for his role in Dallas Buyers Club.
I'm Raya.
Starring in a string of Hollywood movies like Tron Ares and Masters of the Universe. But tonight, Jared Leto is facing new allegations of sexual misconduct from multiple women in the BBC documentary Jared Leto, Hollywood's Dark Secret. ABC has not independently verified these claims. 4 of the women say they were teenagers when they met Leto, who was in his 30s and 40s.
Oh, sorry, I had to get myself together.
This woman claiming Leto sexually assaulted her when she was 17 at a motel after he approached her at a mall.
I don't even know how to say this part, but he grabbed my hand and he, started touching himself with my hand.
Another woman telling the BBC Leto knew she was underage.
I had mentioned to him that my dad was in law enforcement, that I knew with certainty that here in California, the age of consent is 18. He just kind of shrugged it off like it wasn't a huge concern for him.
She alleges they had sex when she was 17.
He told me, I would like you to call me daddy, and it was either pretend to be a little girl or my little girl.
Tonight, Leto denying the allegations, saying in a statement, I have never sexually assaulted anyone in my entire life. These claims are absolutely and categorically false.
And Whit, Leto has faced allegations of sexual misconduct in the past, which he also denied. Whit.
Now, here's the thing. Well, first of all, he looks like a creep. You know what I mean? When you look at him, he's got those beady little eyes that are super close together, which kind of freaks me out when I look at him. But second of all, out of all the people in Hollywood, all right, let's be honest with each other. Out of all these A-list actors that are worth way more money than you, Jared, and don't get me wrong, he probably has some money in the bank. Out of all these A-list actors, why would they choose you? Why would these women choose you to be the target of their false claims? If they are false. Here's the thing. At the end of the day, you did it. Okay, let's be honest with each other. And now you need to pay the price. You know what I mean? There's simply no reason why these women would all come together and say, gosh, who all right, let's have a drink together at the bar tonight, and let's figure out who it is that we're going to target and make stories up about them sexually assaulting us. I got an idea. How about Tom Cruise? No, not good enough. Not good enough. Definitely not popular enough. No. Well. Ooh, I see a hand raised in the corner. Yes. Jared Leto. Yes, the Dallas Buyers Club Oscar winner. Absolutely. Yeah, the guy that just played Skeletor in the Masters of the Universe movie. Let's make shit up about him and say that he sexually assaulted us. Jared, you know you're guilty. Just come clean. Nobody would make shit up about you. Nobody. For no reason. This guy, he's in trouble. We know about that. Tony Romo. It just gets worse and worse for old Tony. And not Tony Fauci, Tony Romo. Tony Romo and I are not on a first name basis like Tony Fauci and I are. He calls me E. We give each other injections daily.
You willing to submit to a PBT?
What is that?
Machine that you blow in?
It's a preliminary drug test.
It does not determine the results of my test.
We're not doing that.
Okay.
I've already heard from all the lawyers. Don't ever do that.
We begin at 5 with new court records detailing the 4 traffic citations written to former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo. This after an operated while intoxicated arrest last Thursday just south of the Marquette interchange. Ben Jordan here to share what deputies found in Romo's vehicle after that arrest. He also takes some viewer questions to an OWI defense attorney. Ben?
Steve, these court records showed the 4 citations. One of them comes after deputies found an open bottle of alcohol on the passenger side of Romo's car following the arrest. Court documents show this was spotted after the arrest when the sheriff's office had the SUV towed away.
All right, how many drinks have you had?
This is former Dallas Cowboys quarterback Tony Romo, pulled over on the Marquette interchange during rush hour traffic last Thursday.
Are you willing to take any field sobriety tests? I'm sorry? Yes, you're denying to step out of the vehicle pending field?
I'm just going to call my lawyer.
Okay, step out of the vehicle.
Romo was denied access to a lawyer during the investigation.
You willing to submit to a PBT?
We're not doing that.
Okay.
I've already heard from all the lawyers. Don't ever do that.
The deputy wrote in court records that Romo performed poorly on these field sobriety tests inside the jail sally port and refused a preliminary breathalyzer test.
Am I supposed to move my head or am I supposed to keep it square?
Would you like the instructions one more time, sir?
The sheriff's office filed a warrant for a blood draw to test his blood alcohol content at the time.
No, step out of the vehicle.
New court records released Wednesday break down the 4 citations Romo received. Possess open intoxicants in a motor vehicle. Second, operating while under the influence. Third, unsafe passing on the right, which is the reason Romo was pulled over. The last citation is for refusing to take a test for intoxication after arrest.
Honestly, it looked like a...
Wow, you can get pulled over for passing on the right side? That's good Lord. I do that. I can usually pass on the right side more than I do on the left side, for God's sake. So I got to watch out for that. But yeah, things are not looking good for old Tony Romo. He looked a mess during the field sobriety test they were performing, and his hair is all disheveled, and it looked like he just got done having a really good time wherever he was coming from. And he had a couple 2-3 drinks too many. It happens, but you got to be smart. You have to be smart, and you can't put yourself in that position. Not that he's any different than you or myself, but he is a high-profile athlete, ex-athlete, with a mega contract from CBS. I believe it's $18 million annually, if I'm not mistaken. And he just put it all on the line because he wanted to drive a little bit too drunk on the highway and pass somebody on the right-hand side. So, yeah, we'll see. I'm going to keep talking about this as we know more and as it develops more. As of right now, apparently, CBS is saying that he is going to take a little bit of time off, but he absolutely will still continue to have his duties at CBS as a broadcaster and as an announcer for the NFL. So, that's what their position is as of right now. We'll see, though, as these charges continue to unfold and as it gets worse and worse. Again, like I said the other day, there has to be a morality clause somewhere in that contract that he's broken. So we shall see, I suppose. We shall see, right? But it is what it is, Good job, Tony. Not about you, Romo. Guys, thank you for watching today. Thank you for listening. If you're listening to this on any of the podcast networks that we broadcast on as well, I appreciate it. It's been a good week so far. Tomorrow's Friday, last show of the week. You know what that means. Time to get down on Friday. Got to get to the bus stop. I will see you guys tomorrow. Drive safely. And make sure you stay dry today if you live in the Tampa area. And congratulations to that winner in Bradenton for winning $800 million on the Powerball. See ya.
I'm not leaving you. So you're hanging with another man. You gotta get more creative, girl. I ain't believing you. Stop trying, stop contemplating, girl. Nothing in this world's gonna make me break. It's gonna take much more to get me out your life. I ain't tiptoe time. I'ma tell you straight. I'm going with you, babe. I'm going with you, baby. I'm going with you, babe.